Why, hello everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's, and all that jazz. Welcome to my 2019 Top 5 Games of the Year stream. My Top 5 Games of 2019 stream. This is something I've been thinking about doing for a couple of months, and I'm actually doing it. Reason being is that I actually played enough decent games this year to make it worth my while to do something like this. And yeah, I'm sitting here. I have the Xbox One on and open to this little group I've created. This is obviously more than 5 games, but I do have a couple of honorable mentions because I figured that a top 5 list with a couple honorable mentions sounds better than a top 7 list. That's my logic, and I'm sticking with it. In any case, yeah, I'm just going to spend a little time playing these here games here. I'm going to spend a little time playing these games here. How about that? And yeah, I'm going to start off with my favorite game, which is the thumbnail for this video, and also the thing that's on the bottom left, and that is Control. Now, unfortunately, not all these games, I do not own all these games digitally, so I am going to have to pop in a few discs here now and then. Got a stack of 4 of the games that I own physically. If you can see them right here. By the way, all these games are going to be on the Xbox One. That's not to say I only played Xbox One games this year. It's just that I only played new games that came out this year on the Xbox One. So yeah, we got my stack of games here. If you can see that. Probably not. That is a complete waste of time, but whatever. I'm going to pop in the first game here. Control. It's a little strange, at least with Xbox One games, how the disc is on the left side of the case when you would expect it to be on the right side, but whatever. And we're going to get started here. I scheduled this for noon instead of my normal 11 a.m. start time for a daily long play stream because I went for a traditional Christmas morning breakfast at the local restaurant that is always open. Perhaps you heard of it, IHOP. And yeah, and we did that, and I wasn't sure. I went there with a family member, and I wasn't sure what time I was going to get back. I forgot to set the volume. Crap. And now I can't reach the remote. There we go. So yeah, my first game, my top game of the year is going to be Control for the Xbox One. This is the latest game by Remedy, perhaps my favorite developer. I've loved every game of theirs that I've played, which is Max Payne 1, Max Payne 2, Alan Wake. I never got around to playing the DLC to Alan Wake, which is something I'll have to remedy in the future. See what I did there? Quantum Break, which I think is a very underrated game, and this might actually be the best of them all. This is a third-person shooter, like all Remedy games, set in a somewhat Metroidvania-style environment in which you have to gain abilities in order to access new areas. So yeah, let's get started. Let's take Control. Now, when I streamed this game a few months ago, I did not take as much time as I would have liked to have to appreciate it because let's see here. I was under pressure to get this game finished because Gears of War 5 was coming out. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to start a new game. This is going to overwrite my current one, but I'm okay with that. Because to be perfectly honest, I was never really interested in doing any of the stuff that takes place after credits. I'd much rather do like side missions in context of before then credits, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to start up a new game here. And the early part of this game might be some of the best content anyway. I am playing this on an Xbox One X. Not that that matters for the purposes of the stream, but it might for this because the game will run better. So yeah. And we're going to get started here.
Fair warning. This is gonna be weirder than usual. Can't be helped.
It can't be helped.
You called me. So here I am.
I'm gonna go ahead and switch this over to full screen now.
I know I shut you out sometimes. I'm always glad to hear from you. It's just that I get my hopes up. So many times it's led to nothing. I found nothing. It's like we live in a room and there's a poster on the wall. We stare at it and we think that's the whole world. The room and the poster. The picture's something nice. A landscape, a famous person. Like in that movie, what is it called? The prison movie.
Shawshank Redemption?
The room's a cell, and the picture, it's different for each of us. It can be beautiful or terrible, but we're all transfixed. But it's all a lie. Something to distract us from the truth. They're lying to us. We're lying to ourselves. The room's not the world. The world is much bigger and much stranger.
Okay.
There's a hole hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world.
Yeah, that's a Shawshank Redemption
We all feel
reference.
safe in that room. But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster. And the ones that see it happen freak out and try to forget what they saw. I'm here.
I'm in control.
Why did you bring me
No, she
here?
doesn't say that, unfortunately. Alright, so I've been listening to the Giant Bomb Game of the Year podcast, and yesterday they finally got to the part of the year where this game came out, and they all loved it for the most part, even though they had some nitpicks about this game. But specifically Jeff, who seems to be the most in favor of it, it might be his best game of the year, he talked about the early part of this, specifically this sequence of walking in and no one being at the front desk to greet people, and how that immediately got his attention, and that how it immediately got his interest in this game going. And from there, he was pretty much hooked. I mean, that's, Jeff has a tendency to, Jeff Gersman, that is, of GiantBomb.com and formerly of GameSpot, he has a tendency to latch on to small things like that and either have a very positive or negative opinion based on the small things he focuses on, but whatever. To each their own. Why am I talking about other people's Game of the Year streams? Because mine's not good enough to stand on its own, that's why. So yeah, I'm just sort of walking around this nicely rendered environment. I am playing this on an Xbox One X. In the future, when I get a ray tracing card, which I expect to happen sometime next year, I might get this game again on PC just to see that, because I understand this game has very good ray tracing on the PC side. Or maybe if all the information about the next gen consoles ends up being true, maybe if I play this on an Xbox Series X, which I'll definitely be getting at launch, maybe that game will definitely be able to, that system will definitely be able to play this game via backwards compatibility natively. Maybe that will add some ray tracing elements to it, because these new systems are supposed to have built-in hardware accelerated ray tracing. We'll see. Hi there, what's up? Someone in the chat. Why does it remind you of Resident Evil? It's moody, it's creepy, or unsettling, I should say. It's empty, at least at first. And being an office building, it might give you sort of a Resident Evil setting vibe. Not like the mansion, but Perhaps like later games? I'm not sure. But it's creepy, it's unsettling, and it's strange. And I wouldn't call it a horror game. I wouldn't call it a horror game, no. It's a horror game in the same sense that something like Twin Peaks or The X-Files is a horror genre. It's more mysterious, more uncertain. You don't know what's going on.
This seal. I saw it a long time ago. I keep seeing it in my dreams.
We are in the Federal Bureau of Control. I have no specific plan for how long I'm going to take to play each one of these games I have here on this list, but I do know that I'm probably going to have to be done at about 4 o'clock-ish, because I got to get ready to head down to family Christmas festivities downriver, and that's going to take a while to get there. I live in the Metro Detroit area, in the northern suburbs, Royal Oak specifically, and downriver is quite far from here. Correspondence. Reminder, certain objects are not inside the Bureau of Control. Well, why is it empty? Why is no one here? Hopefully we'll find out. Unauthorized weapons, pagers, laptops, smartwatches. I'm using bunny ears with my fingers. Smartphones, smart gaming devices, anything smart. Number 2, pencils. Any objects considered iconic representation of archetypal concept. Rubber ducks, ketchup bottles. All material under Bureau investigation is to be brought through the private entrance. If you see any lobby personnel in breach of these policies, please notify your supervisor immediately. Believe it or not, reading notes like that is one of the big appeals of this game. The flavor text, the flavor item that comes with items, and just reading memos and stuff like that. This guy is something else. This guy is a whole load of something else. And I hope to get to a video of him. I believe that is this actor that they use to model Alan Wake. So if that guy looks like Alan Wake, well, he is Alan Wake. But regardless, yeah. This guy is another whole load of something else. This guy we'll be meeting soon. Alright. Well, seems like there's no real purpose to go in the bathroom at the moment.
Bureau of Control. All these years I've been looking for them, and they were hiding in plain sight.
That is Jessie's ever-present internal monologue. Is she talking to herself, or is she talking to someone else? I mean, I know the answer, but I'm pretending to not. Let's see here. I wish you would just open it straight to the thing that you just collected. Okay, a whole lot of redacted stuff there. You might have noticed something by now. Even though this game takes place in the present, mentioning of smartphones and such, none of the technology you see around this office is of current stuff. This is all very old, retro even, gadgetry. We got reel-to-reel tape recorders. We got typewriters. Very old CRT TVs. There's a very good reason for that. And we might get to the part where this the game actually explains that reason. We might not. Okay, that is where I came from. Got it.
Hello? Hey, excuse me.
Hello.
There you are. You are here about the job. Janitor's assistant. You need to go to the interview. Go that way to the elevator.
Thanks. Elevator that way. Got it.
Very good. I'm Ahti, the janitor, by the way. You work for me. You can say I sent you. If they don't hire you, then you are helmet. There be work for the axe. Take them behind the sauna, you heart.
Yep.
I've done enough night shift loner jobs to know it makes us come off weird. Ahti the janitor is a friendly face in my book.
Better than somebody with no face at all. Think about it. No face.
The reason I'm trying to get in there is because there's a projector in there. And projectors are always things you want to interact with. Trust me on this one. If you see a projector in this game, you want to interact with it. Fortunately, there doesn't seem to be a door. These are all windows. So how does one get in there? Oh well. This is a very dark game right here. Alright. Director Trench. I wonder how entrenched he is. That's head of research, Dr. Casper Darling. Remember this guy. Remember it. Remember him. Alright, elevator? Yeah, this game does the thing where you have to hold X
And the poster.
in order to interact with
I
stuff.
was 11 years old the first time I saw behind the poster. They told me I imagined it. I've been trying to pull it down ever since. Will you help?
Got some credits here. Perhaps a late title card even. I mean, parts of this game can definitely get creepy. I'd say it's more creepy in an unsettling way than a, yeah, late title card, than a scary way. It's been a few months since I played this, but I
Did I
don't...
lose you there for a moment? You know what's on my mind. My baby brother, Dylan. 17 years since the men of this bureau took him.
Like I was saying, it's been a while since I've played this game, but I don't necessarily remember any part of it being particularly scary. It's just more creepy, unsettling, uncertain. We can't get in that door. That's an awfully dark room. I'm trying to remember if there were like light switches we could interact with, but I can't remember. This game does not feature any kind of any kind of HDR. I wonder how much you would benefit from it. I guess the wrong button. Welcome to the oldest house. Is the price high? You mean the price of the game? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the current ongoing price for this control is. I haven't really been checking on used game stores for it because I already own it. I know that the price of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice has gone down recently, right after I bought it, for obvious reasons.
Shit.
But
Shit.
okay.
You want me to pick it up? The murder weapon? Really?
Looks like someone shot the director here. Judging by what a mess this area is, it might have been at point-blank range. I'm gonna just confirm. Yeah, this game is definitely rated M, so... just felt like I should point out. You see that lamp there? I used to have that exact same lamp, and it was awesome, but it stopped working, so I had to get rid of it. That is an awesome lamp, and I miss it. Well, I mean, that maybe that's too stronger terms, but I definitely didn't like it when that lamp broke. In any case, let's pick this thing up. Yeah, this is the first,
And there goes the poster.
Objects of power can cause or be results of AWE's altered world events, intrusions upon the perceived reality. Now, the service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's
yeah,
DNA,
most of
a
the
key
enemies are
component
humans in
our
this
prime
game.
candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner, and you're it.
Look at this place. Where am I?
That's an easy thing to think that this was an Xbox exclusive, but it's not. This was the first game since Alan Wake to be on other platforms as well. In fact, to be perfectly honest, I think the marketing, not budget, but the marketing co-dollars are actually being provided by Sony. And as a result, I think Sony's actually going to get DLC for this game before the Xbox will, which sucks for me because I got this game on the Xbox. But no, this is not an Xbox exclusive. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe Quantum Break was a bit of a financial fiasco for them, and they didn't make enough money to justify having it on only the console that was not in first place. Remedy is a third-party studio, after all. They've always have been. And it was easy for them to make Alan Wake an Xbox One exclusive, because 360 was in much better position than the Xbox One. Alright, this is sort of like a tutorial section. Melee. A little bit of combat here.
The same gun.
That's funny, I could have sworn I already picked up that gun. I don't think the story is from anything. I think it's an entirely original creation.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I believe this was an original story created by Remedy. Well, it's clearly heavily influenced by stuff like X-Files and Twin Peaks and, of course, their earlier work. Specifically, stuff like Alan Wake. Maybe even a little bit of Quantum Break. Okay, so this weapon generates ammunition automatically when not in use, so there's no reload mechanic. There's a giant pyramid. Those things on that little bar below the cursor are my current ammo. If I shoot it empty, it'll have to take a moment to recharge. Have to wait for that bar to fill up again before I can start shooting. Now these are not the typical enemies that you face in this game. This is sort of like did not understand anything of the plot. Well, I mean, the plot is kind of inscrutable, especially out of context of the game. Okay, this guy's also shooting. Yeah, I don't think the story came out of anything either. These little blue lights that enemies drop are actually health. Oh look, it says so right there. Alright, what do we got here? Enough.
Something's coming. This threat. An attack. Duty as director. Keep the Bureau safe.
Did you hear that? It's the dead man. Right after the pyramid spoke to me, and it was just noise, and I understood every word. And this gun's alive. You know what? I'm happy. Happy to be here.
Okay, so a few
Things
things.
have quieted down outside. Is it safe to go?
A few things. From what I understand / remember about the story of this game, that pyramid is actually the board that they're referring to. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what that actually means, but that's basically, when people refer to the board, they are referring to that upside down or inverted pyramid. The enemies, for the most part, are like possessed humans. So, yeah. Got a map here. The other thing is the voice of the director that you heard, that shadowy figure that you actually hear from a lot in this game. That voice is actually the voice of Max Payne. The same voice actor who did Max Payne. So you are literally getting orders / advice from Max Payne. Well, not literally, but from whatever. That is the same guy who voiced Max Payne. That shadowy figure who was, well, this guy. Got a nicely detailed office with lots of stuff. And all of it is destructible. This is a very particle physics-y heavy game. But I believe most of the enemies in this game are humans. of some kind. And we're about to face some of them.
You can't let this happen. 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 You stopped it. You... Oh, thank you. That was... horror.
Yes, there is left trigger, right trigger in this game. It is a modern game after all. Still can't get in there. Correspondence. Guess if I had held back there, I would have been able to access it directly. Service weapon. Mentions Excalibur. And right here is basically a way for you to re-watch videos or re-listen to audio that you've already listened to without having to go back to that spot. By the way, that's my character right there. There's a photo of her. Remember how there was a photo on the wall of the previous director? Yeah, guess what? She's the new director. And they already have a photo of her on the wall. How'd that happen? One of many questions that this game may or may not answer. Internal lockdown in effect. Building lockdown in effect. Multiple containment breaches detected. Head of research override. HRA protocol activated. Okay. Get away from that room, because that siren is annoying. That door's not opening. Look at that, everyone's favorite, pneumatic tubes. Because they go thump. Right, yeah, Max Payne were good games. Okay, that's where I just came from. I have a wonderful aptitude for forgetting what I'm doing. Executive Affairs, that's where we're going. Oh, here's a little... What?
Secure line of communication. Guidance. Reach the hotline.
The hotline, says the dead man.
That was the voice of Max Payne.
Okay.
This is a little detail that I liked. Look at these government-approved vending machine snacks. I don't know why I like this detail, but I do. Probably made by the government. Government trail mix. Who doesn't want a bag of government trail mix? You have to forgive me, not only has it been a few months since I played this game, but since I started over, my stuff has been reset back to 0. I didn't new game plus or this or anything like that, and now I'm dead. So it's gonna I'm gonna seem pretty bad at this. But in my defense, I never claimed to be good at these games. Not that that's actually much of a defense, but whatever. I'm not entirely sure what killed me there. I mean, obviously the guys with guns killed me, but I didn't see the enemy who shot me specifically. Got some fade in. Yep, that's my photo again. Probably gonna replay this thing again, right? Yep.
Secure line of communication. Guileless. Use the hotline.
Looks like I broke the
Mine.
wood veneer
Says
off
the
that
dead man.
wall.
Okay.
Crouch here. Alright, since I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time replaying the same sequences over and over again ad nauseum, I'm going to have to get a little bit better and a little more careful in these situations. Like not exposing myself to more angles of fire than I need to. It's called being smart. Not that I am smart, but sometimes I do play a smart person on TV. And that little musical cue when the music stopped, that tells you that the combat is over. Got some undefined reading, conceptual material. See, that's a little creepy, don't you think? This ominous talk going over like that, kind of sounding like the Borg, except in speaking with one voice or speaking with many that are overlapping and thus make it so you can't understand anything that's being said. Alright. Considering this is my favorite game of the year, I'll probably spend the most time playing this one. And the amount of time I spend in the rest of the games will go down. Especially my honorable mentions, even if I can even get to them. I did go through and make sure that I updated any games that needed to be updated, just in case. I don't want to make you sit here and wait while we watch a loading download bar. I mean, that would not be a nice thing for me to do. Let's take a look at the map here. How do I access the map anyway? Oh, up on the D-pad. Got it. Alright, we're in executive affairs, so that's back to the director's office, right?
Reminder, if you experience experience an unanticipated building shift, follow these simple steps. 1. Search the room for any altered items or objects of power. 2. Carry the altered item or object of power to the nearest safe room. 3. Wait for Bureau staff to find you and the object. If there are no altered items or objects of power in the vicinity, then reach your supervisor via the nearest intercom and await further instructions. Thank you for your attention.
Okay. Oops. Well, that's unfortunate, but it didn't give me a prompt to activate it. So whatever. If there was any game that I played through this year that I want to do a second playthrough of, it's this one. Simply because I felt so, not necessarily robbed, but kind of robbed of a ideal playing experience by the proximity of this game's release to that of Gears 5, which is another game I wanted to play. Unfortunately, it's going to take me a long time to get through Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice, and there are other games in my backlog that I want to get to before I play through a game a second time. Okay. Like, look at this. Here's a projector. If it's a projector that I can use for something, then it would have a thing telling me that I can interact with it. That's not just wishful thinking on my part, that is actually the way it goes. Okay, I already listened to that, didn't I? Thought that was a box. Looks like a box.
Follow these simple steps. 1. Search the room for any altered items or objects of power. 2.
Central Executive, okay. Yeah. Big bold text announcing new areas.
Hissing sound that tried to invade me earlier. The hiss burrowing into everything in this place. Is the hiss your enemy? Alright, it's our enemy. That babble's contagious. It burrows in like an infuriating melody that makes you hum it over and over.
Now these people, all these characters all these humans are being sort of held in suspended animation up in the air. Some of them turn into enemies, some of them don't. You can tell is when they drop to the ground and start attacking you. Sort of a dumb, obvious way of putting it, but it's I am, if anything, dumb and obvious. How did you find this place? Well, no one was there in the lobby to ask these kinds of questions, so whatever. The detail. Delays caused by house shifts do not count towards overtime. Rules of conduct. No personal calls. No using the photocopier for personal projects or the 3D printer. The one to finish the coffee pot makes a new one. I love that they put that right outside of no talking about confidential stuff. Right in the same thing. Urban legends. Alright. Look at that. Guess we jump down. Yeah, my aim is not great. Here we go. I was trying to duck, but for some reason the game wasn't letting me. This guy looks tough. Smart little booger, huh? Smart booger, huh? I mean, get that health. Got him. We got some stuff here. Weapon mods. We can boost the accuracy of our gun by 6% with this weapon mod. Personal mods. Boost our health regen by 16% with this one. Alright, control point.
Cleanse the control point. What does that mean? Help me fix it.
Now these control points, as you can imagine, are very important. If you capture enough of them, you get more tickets than the other team, and thus you win the match. Oh wait, no. Different type of game.
Holy shit! You did it! We did it!
Hello? Can you hear me?
No, these basically act as fast travel points. Think of it as like, kind of like the idols from Sekiro, except not really. I don't know. They act as fast travel points and things you interact with in order to do other stuff. They also heal you. Alright.
I can't tell you how happy I am to talk to somebody sane.
Her feelings mutual. Yeah, I'm Pope, Emily Pope, Dr. Darling's assistant.
My turn. Should I lie? Jesse Faden. I'm just visiting. I should have lied.
Oh, shit. You're the new director. Hold on. We're coming out.
The new director. How did she know that we're the new director?
Director Faden. Call me Jesse. Okay, Jesse. I'm Emily. Look, somehow this hostile force, this hiss, that works. Somehow the hiss managed to infiltrate the building without any warning. And just like that, my name for it is official.
Yep.
The hiss. Like the sound of poison gas leaking in. We're in full lockdown. It seems to have spread everywhere and to everyone not protected by an HRA. And, extraordinarily, you.
HRA?
You are the director, and that makes you special by definition. Trench is no longer the director, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. This whole situation is just a lot.
Yes, it is.
Trench is dead. Shot. I found his body. And the gun. Do I tell her it looked like a suicide? The service weapon. Also, and this can sound crazy, he keeps appearing to me, saying things. It's hard to make out, but he told me to cleanse the control point, push the hiss out. The whole room shifted around. You did that? And you entered the building when it was already in the lockdown before you became the new director? How? I'm not ready to tell her about you yet. A janitor let me in. I love it. This is fucking unbelievable.
Dropping an F-bomb.
I can't even... Look, Jesse, I have a million questions, and probably have a million more. Like, do you know my brother Dylan? Not yet. But there's something I need to ask you to do first. If you can cleanse a control point, then you can maybe cure those infected or possessed by the hiss. Because if that's possible, our options are very different. Emily Pope. I don't know her, but I like her already. She's the opposite of the faceless agency I've blamed for what happened to me for so long. But I can't trust her yet. Or rather, the Bureau she's a part of. Yes. I can try. I'm speaking for you, of course. We can try it together.
All right.
Okay. You with me? We did it before. Push the hiss out.
All right. So we need to find someone that's possessed, like this guy, for example. Now, I already know what's going to happen here. At least I think I remember. It didn't work.
It didn't work. The hiss has burrowed too deep. Ripping it out rips them apart. Jesse, over here. We need to make a plan, Jesse. I can't cleanse them. I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jesse.
All
I'm
right.
gonna tell her why I'm here. I'll risk it. Listen, the Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time.
A long
That's
time.
enough. Maybe that's too much already. I can't tell her about Dylan and the rest yet. I've seen mentions of an altered world event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing.
Of course he is.
I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. A few of us. And Director Trench would know. Trench, the ghost, or whatever he is, he mentioned something called the hotline. Said I should find it. It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone, a direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the hiss. Where is the hotline?
It's in
the
Miami.
communications department through the mailroom.
No.
It's part of this sector, so we can access it even with the lockdown in place. We'll get the door open for you. Okay, that's my next stop. That's Tomasi's department. He's the head of communications. I don't think he had an HRA. He kind of made a point about not wearing one earlier.
Great.
Keep an eye out.
By the
They
way,
call me the director. But that's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know. Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. want to be a part of this world.
A part
What
of
scares
your
me
world.
shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the hiss destroy it all.
Okay, so that's the hotline we're looking for. And it's ringing. Phone's ringing. Somebody get it.
Look, I know this is all new to you, so don't hesitate to ask me anything you want to know. There are no stupid questions. The door to the comms department is just outside the boardroom back in the lobby. They should have gotten it open by now.
Cool.
Follow the signs to the mailroom. You can get to the hotline containment chamber through there.
So yeah, oh yeah, the thing I was gonna say, just in case you were wondering, the HRAs are the things that these everyone are except me is wearing on them that protect them from being consumed and immobilized by the hiss. That would be that thing that's on that guy's chest. How do they work? I don't know. I don't know if this game ever even explains it. If maybe it does and I missed it, or maybe it doesn't. It's just one of those things that it just doesn't explain. Certainly doesn't help that it's been a few months since I played this game, and therefore, even if I encountered it, I almost certainly don't remember it. So let's, I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna switch over to the, this is how you fast travel, to the next game. And quit here, because I've been doing this one for about an hour, and I have at least 4 more games I'd like to get to today. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Switch this back over to the multi-view. This is also one of the things I'm doing, is I'm testing out new ways of streaming, or not new ways of streaming, but new things I can do during streams, such as switching the different views, I guess. One moment. Alright, pop out the control disc here. And let's go to my second favorite game of the year, Devil May Cry 5. Now, I actually expected this game when I played this to be my game of the year. And this sort of popped up. I actually, to be perfectly honest, wasn't all that anticipating Control all that much, which is strange because it's the newest game by possibly my favorite developer. But for some reason, it was announced, it didn't really strike me as being a game to get excited about. Maybe it's because I didn't know anything about it. I don't know. But regardless, it is my game of the year, and which has surprised me because I expected this Devil May Cry 5 to be my game of the year. Because when this game got announced, I could not have air pumped any harder when I saw the announcement trailer at E3 last year. On E3, during E3 last year, the Microsoft press conference. This game is awesome. And I wouldn't be surprised if this game is on a lot of people's Game of the Year list as well. Based on the way they were talking about it, I actually already logged in, so I already got the daily login bonus for today and such. Based on the way they talked about it on the Game of the Year bombcast that I've heard thus far, it's likely going to be on this year's top 10 list. Probably in the lower half. But we'll see. We'll see. By the way, the Giant Bomb guys weren't all that into Sekiro. They seemed to think it was worse than Bloodborne. They didn't like that you couldn't basically play that any way you wanted. You have to do it a specific way. So, it's funny because their sister site, GameSpot, made Sekiro their game of the year, and Giant Bomb might not even have it on their top 10 list. Right. Oh, by the way, let me try out one more thing before I move on. Look at that. I switched the current game midstream. The current game picture midstream. Yeah, this is Devil May Cry 5. This is the direct sequel to Devil May Cry 4 and 3, in my opinion. I'm going to switch over to the full screen because you're going to want to see this. This is one of the best intro cutscenes I've ever seen. I'm going to shut my yap during it, too.
Same crap, different day. So, tell me,
Tell you what.
how does it feel to be rescuing the guy that killed your father?
Hey, I'm glad we're getting personal. Well, he abandoned my mother and I and left us for dead. I feel nothing.
Well, he's not exactly going up for Father of the Year award now, is he?
His research wasn't half bad. Came in handy. Mildly thank you for that.
They have to do that in here. It already smells like ass.
That's you.
Hey, Nico?
Don't lose your tits. I see him.
Hey, you have to hit every single bump in the road? Gonna ruin my groove.
Now, if that wasn't awesome, I don't know what is. Yeah, sure it doesn't promote the use of smoking. Sure, game. Sure you mean it. Alright, let's get into a little gameplay. Because if it was up to me, I'd just watch that cutscene over and over again. I mean, maybe not, but still. Technically, it is up to me, but let's get into the game. This is the Xbox One version, obviously. This is being played on an Xbox One X, and this is actually in HDR. So, not that that matters to the stream. Well, I can capture footage in HDR using this AverMedia Live Gamer 4K capture card. I cannot stream in it. And my upload bandwidth is definitely not good enough to it's definitely not good enough to upload in 4K. It's good enough for 1080p though, so that's what I'm doing. Alright. We're going to do a little prologuing here. Can't remember if I started a new game after I beat this, or if this is just the default what happens when you... I don't know. Regardless, we're going to play Little Devil May Cry 5. I guess this is technically the opening cutscene. It's a rather old-fashioned camera there. Of course, I'm not sure when this game actually takes place.
We've known each other a long time. You never had this much trouble. You gonna make it through this, Dante?
I don't really know who that actually is.
What am I doing wasting my time here? He's got this.
You should not underestimate this demon. After all, it was he who took your right arm and gained a great deal of power from it. I'm leaving. I suggest you do not fall behind.
Okay, V. You're an interesting guy, but you're right. I've got a score to settle with that son of a bitch.
Alright. And a little bit of a introduction to the three characters. Okay, so this is sort of like a new Game Plus thing here, because I have all the stuff that I had previously purchased. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean I remember how to use any of it, but regardless, yeah. I wonder if I'm gonna get any kind of tutorial, so to bring me back up into speed on this thing. Customize. Oh yeah, that's right, the whole devil arm, that devil breaker. I have a lot of lums to spend on stuff. Alright, the problem is that with Nero's gameplay, I never really got into using this different types of stuff here. That's why I could have just equipped the stuff I had. Didn't have to buy anything. Oh well. Let's just fill it up with stuff and see what happens, I guess. I'm going to have to pause it as soon as the game will let me to take a look at the controls, because I do not remember them. I sincerely hope that playing this game for the amount I'm going to be playing it today does not ruin or interfere with my ability to play Sekiro, because in my mind these games have more similarity than they do in real life. At least the way I've customized the controls of the whole Sekiro. I know that's not actually true, but still. Okay, we got melee on X, gun on B, jump, devil breaker, devil bringer, breakaway. We don't want to hit that. Lock on, change target, lock on, right, left stick, exceed, right. Lock on is on left trigger, exceed is on right trigger. Reset camera. Devil trigger. Alright, so I think this is the thing that causes your devil breaker to break. So I don't want to do that. Right, well, whatever.
Dante.
All right. The first enemy you fight in the game.
I can take you with no arms.
Pictures taken while defeating enemies appear in their reports. Check them out in Nico's reports in the galley if you want to retake these photos later. What? Okay, that's something that was added. Because I definitely don't remember that. The Stinger. There is a move, a combat art that I believe is going to be a lot like that in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. And the Stinger is my go-to ability in Devil May Cry. Ever since the first one, in fact, back in the day. All the Devil May Cry games I have played, I get that as quickly as possible, and I use that the most often. That's this thing. Nope, not that. That, pretty much. So it's not quite that. I guess Dante's is actually closer to the traditional Stinger. And the one in Sekiro, I believe, looks closer to what Dante's is. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about another game that I'm not even going to be doing as part of this stream because I haven't finished it yet. And in the process, I'm wasting time that I don't really have. Okay, that guy brings enemies back to life. That's not cool.
Demons helping each other out? What's the world coming to?
So I don't really have all that much to say at the moment. I'm just sort of trying to focus and remember as much of this as I can. If you notice, as I'm targeting these enemies, you'll see a little bit of a bar or a circle that depletes as I hit them. That is their health bar. Okay, the guy hit me. That's not cool. Yeah, also seem to be having trouble finishing him off. Or doing damage to him, I should say. If you're wondering why his gun is not shooting all that fast, you have to remember Nero has a different gun than Dante. Dante uses the dual pistols, Ebony and Ivory, and Nero uses the Blue Rose. Excuse me, the Blue Rose. I don't know why I said it that weird and loudly. And that's why it's not shooting that fast, because it's a revolver. That strange thing, never has to reload. Of course, that's true of Dante's weapons as well. I am not getting a good grade for this fight, that is for sure. The damage I took, the lack of style. Oh, whatever. Yeah, this whole photo thing when you kill enemies is definitely new. I do not... This was not in it when I first played it at all.
Do you not understand? We cannot hope to do this without you.
That's all right, superstar. Go on with your best. Go ahead. We got this.
In order to get a higher grade, you need to keep mixing up the, what you're doing. Mixing up the attacks. Incorporating as many different things as possible. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, your grade is going to go down. And so too would go down if you take a hit. Look at that. I got an S rank. There's an S rank, a double S rank, and a triple S rank. And I've only ever gotten that playing as V, which makes it extremely easy to do. And the funny enough is that it actually keeps going afterwards, which makes me think it's possible to get a quadruple S rank, although I'd never actually gotten it. But if there is a chance, it's going to be with V. That would be that goth-looking character that's like, it looks like Kylo Ren from Star Wars. At least that's what I always thought he looked like when I first saw him, anyway. You might recognize Lady and Trish from Devil May Cry 3 and 1, respectively, there.
Well, looks like this won't be a total waste of time after all. Hey, jackass! Did your mother ever teach you it's not nice to steal? Sorry, Dante. I'm back in this bitch.
He's a cocky little thing. Because it might not be obvious at the moment, but this is actually a fight you're supposed to lose. Which is funny because I am as upgraded as I was at the end of my first playthrough. I do have some faint memory as to how to beat this guy. I also know you're not supposed to. Of course, just because I can kind of remember doesn't mean that I can actually do it. Like I have not played this game since it came out. Way back in the spring, I think. Yep.
Round two.
That's right, Dante is part demon.
This is a bad move. I can still fight. Go! You're just dead weight. Back up.
That's not a nice thing to say about someone. Even if when it's true, especially when it's true. The Demon King, that sounds fancy.
The demon that took your arm.
In the face. Hey, broke Dante's sword. Look at that face. Fade to black.
What happened to Dante? Where's Dante?
He's buying time, but it doesn't look good.
Okay, what do we got here? That's not good.
This can't be happening. Dante lost.
Forget it. There's nothing we can do. We must go.
But yeah, I like this game. I like this game a lot. It's a fun-playing, fast-paced game, for the most part, that looks great. Has some great tech powering it, the RE engine. Some pretty good music. All the type of stuff you expect from a Devil May Cry game. Good characters, and a lot of style. It is oozing with style. I got an A for that. Alright, someone else is playing. Sure, I'll rate them as stylish. There's no reason not to. I don't remember actually seeing them, but whatever. Maybe if I was watching any of that stuff before. Yeah, I'm going to skip that because we already watched that, and I am a little pressed for time. Just in case you're wondering, the whole reason for the date and time thing, this game actually takes as you playing as all three of those characters, Nero, Dante, and Virgil, as their paths crisscross and take place at different times. And that's a good way of letting you know the sequence of events.
You look like you need a hug, but you're not gonna get one from me. Better get lost.
Hey, who are you? Hey, you're gonna get yourself killed!
Don't crap yourself. He likes to kill demon things. Let him do his thing.
You hear what I said, you dumb one-armed son of a bitch? You're gonna die!
Cheer up, crew cut. You taking notes?
Yep.
All right. Time to kick some ass.
That would be my cue to start playing, by the way. Not really worried about buying anything. I think I bought most of the things I wanted in my actual playthrough. What? I wasn't expecting a cutscene to pop up there, but whatever. Perhaps I should be talking about more about the reasons why I like these games. That was the original plan, but I don't know, I'm sort of enjoying what I'm doing here.
He's real pro at smashing demons around. That's why I built him that well-functioning arm. To kick demon ass. Hey, Zacko! What's the merchandise?
Hey, stop bitching and take cover.
Okay, I shouldn't have done that. Guess I'm glad it happened before I started the fight again and not after, so I didn't lose any of my style meter. Okay, those are just headlights. Like I said, it's been a while since I've played this game, so I don't necessarily remember how all these enemies act and react and such. So I'm gonna look quite a bit worse at this game than I actually am because of it. Much like Control, for example. I think you might only be able to damage these guys when they're in the air? I'm not sure. Alright. Actually, what's happening is my memory of Sekiro is causing me to want to do things like that game, like holding Y to suck in items, which is not, and clicking the right analog stick to target enemies, which is not at all right. There we go. Another enemy killed for the first time. Clearly, this game takes place in Britain with these red double buses. In fact, it's probably London. You know what? I don't know if I've ever got that fragment over there. That fragment that used to increase your health. Your maximum health amount, I mean. Maybe I can get it again, but I don't think I've ever actually gone in that direction. So I'm going to go out and say I didn't get it before. Alright, well, I'm definitely going to get it now, that's for sure. Can't remember if you need 3, 4, or 5 of those things. The Gatry, they basically act as pieces of heart. Gotta take out these things. The guy hit something that exploded. Alright, this is like the first boss you fight that you're actually supposed to beat. These enemies have been around since at least Devil May Cry 3, if not before. I never played Devil May Cry 2, by the way. I heard that was bad back in the day, and I was determined to steer clear of it. Here's another area I'm pretty sure I've never been in. Okay, you're not dead? Well, you need to be dead, so die already. Frontline Freak Show. Ooh, I didn't see that guy. You know, ignorance is no excuse, but still. There we go. Hey, can I get over there? No, I cannot. You never know until you try.
What a lovely house plant. Brought the marshmallows, 'cause I'm bringing the fire.
charging up the sword. Let me check something before I go on. Controls, I just need to check. Double trigger, okay. D-pad, got it. Let's do that now. This is also a way of restoring health. So it's doing a whole lot more damage.
Some spots of yourself here.
I don't know where this guy came from, but he's not invited. Dagnam, I was hoping to get some health back from that, but whatever. Okay, I'm not doing good at this. Dagnammit. Sure, I guess I'll use this thing. You have a bunch of those anyway. Forgot about that little mechanic there. It's one of the things that makes this game a lot easier than previous Devil May Cry games. Doesn't look like there's anyone in the chat anymore. Oh well. Don't really go into these streams expecting anyone to watch them. So as a result, I'm always surprised when someone does.
Hey, tough guy. That'll keep him, but not for long.
What do you mean?
Soldier Boy said city's gone to hell and back, taken over by the underworld. Not
The
just here,
underworld?
but everywhere.
Yamato did this.
Okay. This is 2 months ago.
Why do I feel like your pet mechanic? Don't get used to it.
Nico, I showed you those order docs, so you still owe me, remember? Be right there! Hey, why don't you go ahead? I'm gonna finish up here.
I'll try to save you some. Not.
That's his old devil arm.
You need something? What is it? You hungry? Well, you're in luck, pal, 'cause food's ready and Kitty always makes too much. Hope you like loud talkers too, cause got a pair of those upstairs. You see something you like? What the hell? You a demon?
Get back inside now!
Ah. That's not good. What's that? It's like a samurai sword. Like the Yamato. In fact, that's exactly what that is. Who is this guy? You just opened a portal with that sword?
He's waiting for us up ahead. Try not to get us killed on the way there.
Yay, another mission done. Only a C though. Because I'd use a revive. Always bet on red. Oh, right, hit A. Well, folks, I think I'm going to move on to the next game here. I may not actually go for the full 4 hours that I could have gone for. I'm feeling a little on the tired side today, so as a result, I'm going to head back to the main menu here. Move on to the next game. But I'm going to move through these a little bit more quickly, which is fine. Let's exit out of here. With that, and then eject the disc. Although at the moment I don't actually need to eject it. Because the next game, let me put this back here. The next game I'm going to be doing is actually a digital game. Let me go back to my group here. Here we go. That is going to be The Outer Worlds, my third favorite game of the year. And this is the Game Pass version of it. Not that there's any difference between this and the regular one, but that's just to let you know, hey, you got this game via Game Pass, which I did. This is a game made by Obsidian, who is famous for making Fallout New Vegas, and it is very much a Fallout-style action RPG. This is the most recent game that I completed a playthrough on my daily long play stream. I finished this, and then I started my current one, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. And yeah, this is my third favorite game of the year. And that's strange because, be perfectly honest, I've never actually played a Fallout game. And I've generally never been interested in it either. The whole post-apocalyptic setting, combined with what seemed like a very uninteresting combat system to me, always sort of repulsed me. Or not repulsed me, maybe that's too strong a word, but it just never interested in. Just never made me want to play it. Let me change that. But this game, being a shorter, more focused game set in space, and being available on Game Pass, which I already had, made me give it a try. And I'm glad I did, because it's a good game. That doesn't mean that I'm going to suddenly get into Fallout games. No, I'm still not interested in it. But this game is actually worth playing in its own right. Now, I'm not gonna start a new game here. I'm actually just gonna pick up from my... Okay, I don't want to pick up from my last save file at the last boss, but what I want to do is I want to pick up from sort of like the save I made before the point of no return. So unfortunately, this game has numerous lengthy loading screens. That's like the biggest criticism I have of this game. Is, yeah, this loading screen right here is a typical length loading screen, not just for when you first boot up a game. Get used to seeing the Spacer's Choice logo, because you're gonna see it a lot. Let's take a look here. Where I go to this one. I remember specifically hard saving before the point of no return, so I'm going to go to that. Let me switch this back over to the full screen view. So there really was no point in me changing the game logo there, but I did it just to make sure that I could. I'm testing out stuff here on this Christmas broadcast for Game of the Year. Look at that. The name of my ship is called the Unreliable. I am in space. And while that may look like Jupiter, it is not. We are in a very far distant star system known as Halcyon. Or Halcyon. Halcyon. I think that's what it's called. Alright, let me give you the dime tour of the Unreliable. Here's the bridge with the ship's computer navigational controls. This game is in somewhat 4K, a dynamic resolution, a dynamic 4K, but it is not, to my knowledge, in HDR. Let me confirm that. No, it's not HDR. It's, yeah. This is sort of the cargo bay. Here's one of my companions. I have 3 of them on the ship. I could have as many as 6 if I didn't kill one of them, because he turned into an enemy, and if I had found the other 2. But I never did. Here's a workbench. The engine room. Look at that. There's really nothing to do here at the moment, but this was a thing I had to go to earlier in order to get the ship working. Here's a machine which I can respec my skill points if I want at the expense of money. I never did that. But suffice to say, having never really played a game like this before, there's one of my other companions, a cleaning robot called Sam. I know he looked like an enemy there, but he wasn't. Got a bathroom. Bathrooms are very big in this game. Here's the third companion. I think I picked her up on Monarch, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that sounds about right. Lots of storage units for you to raid, not just in the ship, but all over the game world, the environments. Lots of stuff for you to pick up, items for you to either use, consume, or potential crafting parts. Lots of detail. These are the crew quarters. As you can see, there are 6 of them for the 6 potential companions you could have. And I only have 3. And this is Sam's room, actually. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4. 1, 2 on that side, 4 on this side. Alright. That first room was actually more or less the cafeteria. This ship reminds me an awful lot of Serenity from Firefly. Here's my quarters. Right above the bridge, with an awesome view. Yeah, an awesome view. My bed, what's this thing? Being Employee of the Month. Never noticed that. My computer terminal. A skull, for which you could put a hat on, or I picked a hat from. My storage bin, which I stored a bunch of stuff. Alright, never noticed that either. Or that thing. Alright, must have decorated my ship with stuff like this. Yeah, I've literally never noticed this stuff until just now. Alright. Gifts from the factions that I've helped in my playthrough of this game. Cool. It's a weird looking plant. Apparently I needed to reload. Alright. I've given you the dime tour of the ship. Why don't we go see some planets? Obviously, this marker is pointing me in the direction of the next mission. Which is there. But I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be going... Actually, Monarch is probably the most interesting planet for me to show you. So how about we just stay here and transport down? And this is where you select your party. You can only have 2 companions with you at a time. And I always go with these 2 because they're the ones I put all the equipment and stuff and weaponry that I pick up into. So yeah. Alright. Well, like I said, if there's one major criticism of this game I have, it's these loading screens. It's not that the number of them is too high, it's just they are really long. And look at that skybox. This is some of the best looking skyboxes outside of a Bungie or 343 game, in my opinion. So in other words, Halo or Destiny. Outside of those 2, these are some of the best looking skyboxes. That's what it would look like if Earth was orbiting around Jupiter. That's what the sky would look like. How awesome would that be? I mean, other than the obvious gravitational effects it would have on tides and everything and such, but just look at that. I need to make a 4K sample of this sample video of this game. I haven't done those videos in a while because I've either been lacking in time or energy. Much more tired nowadays than I used to be. Hey, me whining about personal problems. Everyone loves that. Alright, this is a town. August Van Noy. Is he related to Kyle Van Noy? Formerly with the Detroit Lions, now with the New England Patriots? Probably not. There is a stealing system. I choose not to partake in that, except in situations where I have to. Yeah.
Sounds like rat in here.
Oh, it does work. I bought some musk from Sebastian to cover up the saltuna smell.
Trust me, this is worse.
Listen in on conversations. So I just really like looking at that planet. This town is called Stellar Bay. Now we're going to transition to an outside environment, which of course means a loading screen. Hi, caramba. A little more tired today than I thought. Yeah, show a little bit of combat in this game. If I can. Here we go. Use this slow time slowing mechanic. Basically this game's alternative to VATS. Not gonna bother wasting time looting or anything like that. See something fun? How about watch a companion ability like this? That is definitely overkill, but then again, so is this. Yeah, I'm alright, I think. Are you guys alright? You do slowly regenerate health over time. Okay, that's definitely an enemy we need to use the whole companion abilities on. Which, hey, guess what? Both of them are now recharged. So let's do that. So knock him down. That robot, and then this will shoot him while he's down. I do prefer these semi-automatic rifles. Or I do prefer semi-automatic or single or round burst rifles. I actually don't think this is one of them because you can definitely hold that down. But in general, I prefer like scout rifle type weapons compared to fully automatic stuff, like the longer range, higher accuracy, and more damage per round. That is just a torso. That is just a torso.
I am a soul.
Yep.
Incoming.
Showing off a little bit of the combat here.
Don't mess with us.
Maybe I can change to a different weapon. Here's my light machine gun, or is it a heavy machine gun? Yep. Their abilities are very powerful. It's a combat shotgun, I believe. Those are the 4 weapons I have. This is just a pistol.
That's the last of them.
I generally keep this around for setting off booby traps. And for obscuring less of the screen from when I'm like exploring an area. It also looks less threatening when you're talking to NPCs, maybe. I don't know. It's strange that this game doesn't have a holster ability where you could just holster your weapon for when you're in towns, because running around a peaceful town or ship or village, or you're holding out this gun like ready to fire, that doesn't seem right. Maybe that's just me. And I do have some more unusual weapons, dagnammit, that I never actually bothered, including this including this shrink ray. So I'm gonna unequip this thing and put that thing, and we'll see what that thing is like. I went through a whole side quest picking up unusual weapons like this, but I never used them. Seems a little dumb. And then again, I never claimed to be smart. So, yeah. So I was out of range. Maybe it doesn't work on those things. Okay, it actually shrunk him for a little bit. I have to hold it. That's what I was doing wrong. Like I said, I've never used this. So, yeah. Some strange structures. Alright, I'm gonna head back to the ship, because there's more areas I'd like to show off. Yeah, of this game than just this planet. Thankfully, I can fast travel directly to the interior of the Unreliable. As long as I'm not in combat, that is.
If you stop in the engine room, would you ask Parvati to send Sam down to the bridge?
I mean, I could just send him down to the bridge, too. That is the computer talking, by the way. Alright, let's go to... the Groundbreaker.
The Groundbreaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark.
Alright.
Please avoid damaging your...
I'll show you. This is basically a town on a ship. It's an interior environment aboard a giant ship in space. Ay, caramba. Here we are. Customs. Yeah, I'm quite a bit more tired than I thought I would be. So I didn't get a very good night's sleep last night. Look at that.
Rizzo's lemon slap. Slap your whole family tonight.
An advertisement drone. Lots of holographic signage going on here. Got a bar right here.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Tossball finals are scheduled to air soon, but a scandal has rocked the league and thrown this pivotal game into question. Both teams have tested negative for performance-enhancing stims. A tossball first. Coaches and referees are debating how and if this behavior could lead to an unfair advantage. This story brought to you by Halcyon News. All the news that's fit to broadcast.
Okay. Just in case you're wondering, yes, this is a bizarre world. I don't know if I've ever noticed that dome there for you to see out into space.
Renegade finds experience well taken captured. Please celebrate appropriately.
Alright. That is a guy that you're helping in this game. Sort of a main, not the main character, but an important character.
Hearty greeting, potential customer. Welcome to Auntie's Kitchen, a home-style consumable protein dispensary. Its unit dispense proteins for your ingestion.
Aren't you just a glorified vending machine?
This unit is programmed to simulate shock at such assertions. Shock simulation non-functional. A trouble ticket has been filed.
Maybe I can fix that.
Shock simulation restored. Initiating shock subroutine. How dare you? Shock subroutine complete. Estimated guilt level of customer increased by 35%. Resuming protein dispensation protocol. Its unit dispense proteins for your ingestion.
Example of engaging with some of the characters. Sort of the engineering section of this massive ship. Those I use for lock picking.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Do you have what it takes to defend your corporate township from the dangers of alien wildlife and the unemployed?
The
Talk to
unemployed.
your local manager about applying for military training and lend your life to protecting our wonderful brands and products. Military service does not guarantee full employment rights, tax breaks, military discount, health benefits, military burial, participation medal, training, or weapons. You've been listening to Halcyon News, your mandated duty as a good citizen of Halcyon.
Okay. Bratwurst.
If you're hungry, you've come to the right place. I've got a fresh ground batch of spratwurst cooking. They're
Sprats are
terrified to
rats.
lock in the juices. How about a grinder's dozen?
What's Spratwurst exactly?
You know what sprats are? Space rats. The laboratories of Spacer's Choice found a use for this limitless frontier resource. Sprat meat is plenty tasty when properly prepared. We grind them up in sausages, then terror fry them in their own juices. Absolutely not. Spratwurst and all related terms are registered trademarks of Spacer's Choice. Boar, the other meat, is a registered trademark of C&P. Everyone knows our company and theirs are nothing alike.
Okay. What does terror fry mean?
Terror frying is a Spacer's Choice brand secret. A mix of 13 herbs and spices, plus a dash of modern chemistry.
Modern chemistry.
Legally? No. The terror frying method was developed and marketed by Spacer's Choice. Between you, me, and this grinder, I've been through lean times. If there's one thing you learn on tramp freighters, it's how to make near anything edible. Might be that this old space hand put a few words in the right ears, and could be that Spacer's Choice liked sticking it to C&P by R&Ding our own special meat.
Alright.
Just as well, near about time for me to go check on the trap. I mean, to unload another crate of farm fresh sprats.
Alright. Give you an idea of the style of humor that this game employs.
C&P chicken and potatoes. At C&P, we know our C&P.
C&P stands for chicken and potatoes, apparently. Waste disposal. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that that is a public bathroom.
I was wondering what they do with their waste. I guess they just chuck it down here. Where's it all go?
Huh? I guess I'm wrong. Hey, it's a new area I've never been to.
How about I stay up top? You know, keep watch. Okay?
Okay, I guess she is actually staying up there. Looks like it's all dropping from there into an incinerator of some kind. Alright, it doesn't necessarily seem... There's a dead body. Here's another dead body. Alright, guess that's all there is to be seen here. And I'm gonna go up a different ladder than the one I used to come down on. Why? Because... why not? These must be the sprats. Cute little boogers. Alright. Alright, I think I got one more environment I want to show off before I switch to a different game here. Gonna be moving a little bit faster with these glances, I guess you can call them. It's streaming for about 2 hours. A little over, actually. Got plenty of loading screens before I can get to this next area. Ay, caramba. Such relaxing music here, though. Ah, there we go.
Ah, your face is a site for sore ocular processors, Captain. Or rather, your heck areas.
Okay. We're gonna go to Byzantium, which is more or less the capital city of
We're now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Of this system. Alright. Here we are. I'm gonna head over to the map. I really just wanted to show off how much this area reminds me of the Imperial City from Skyrim. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Fast travel to here. I can't. Cyrodiil, I think it. No, Cyrodiil was the name of the land that you were in. I can't remember. I think it was just called the Imperial City, but I'm not sure. There we go. Thankfully, that was a bit on the shorter side. I really like this. This mechanical model of the solar system of Halcyon. I don't know, I really like it for some reason. I wonder if it'd be possible to build something like that in real life. I don't know.
Spacer's Choice Zero G Brew. An ale that's good for what ails you.
You hear that? Spacer's Choice is not the best choice.
Spacer's Choice Great Life Bread. It tastes fresh because it was.
Remember that stranger I saw in the square? Shh. The one with what must have been a T&L rep. Rather well dressed and well armed.
Enough! They're standing right here.
Wealthy citizens. This is where the rich folk live. Another SAM unit. Vending machines that basically act as merchants or shops in this game.
Today's trends are tomorrow's trash.
Okay. Not everyone has something interesting to offer as far as conversation goes when you talk to them.
Move along.
A lot of it is just like that. So far, there's no equivalent of arrow to the knee dialogue that I've heard. And maybe there was, and I just didn't notice it.
You have a rather exotic presence. A new Auntie Cleo's facial mask, perhaps? Or experimental pheromones?
Today's trends are tomorrow's trash.
Okay, that's a pretty good candidate for it. Well, I guess it doesn't stick out in the memory like arrow to the knee. Oh yeah, look at the curvature of this road here. It just, I don't know, it just reminded me of the Imperial City from Skyrim. Look at that. This planet has a ring, has rings around it. But yeah, this is a pretty decent game. If you have Game Pass, I believe it's still available. Remember, Obsidian is now a Microsoft first-party studio. So, as a result, they got to put this game on Game Pass, even though it is also available on other systems. Obviously, that makes the Xbox One the best place to play it, because you can play it for free if you have Game Pass. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bug out of here. I didn't really do anything worth saving, so I'm not going to bother to do that. Though I wonder if any of those saves overrode my save that was right before the final boss. I don't know. But yeah, let's go back to the group here. Actually, the next game is a disc-based game, so I'm going to pop that in now. We switch it back over to the multi-view. Hello. I'm still here. I haven't been replaced by a robot yet. Though I imagine a robot would have more interesting things to say than me. Let me go ahead and change the picture of the current game. Boom. Look at that. Right on cue. Yep, Mortal Kombat 11. Let's see here. This is a game that I didn't really have much expectations for because, a little bit of backstory. Mortal Kombat 9, which is just called Mortal Kombat, was my favorite, not just Mortal Kombat game, but my favorite fighting game ever. Take that with a grain of salt, because I generally don't like fighting games. It's one of my least favorite genres. But I loved MK9 because of its story mode. And it made me very excited for Mortal Kombat 10, or X, or whatever you want to call it. And I played it, and I was disappointed because of the changes they made to the story mode. Now, I'm not just talking about the QTE cutscenes, QTEs in the cutscenes, but the story just wasn't that good. It was a letdown compared to the one that came before. So when this game was announced, I really wasn't all that interested in it. I didn't think I was going to get it. But the more I heard about it, the more I liked it. So I decided to take a chance and buy it. And I'm glad I did. It's got an awesome story mode, and an even awesomer. It's got an awesome story mode and an awesome tutorial mode as well. And I spent some time playing both and streaming them as well. Unfortunately, I'm still not good at fighting games, and I had to skip a number of sequences in the tutorial mode as a result, because I just couldn't complete them. But, I'm also never tried playing either online or local multiplayer. I just more or less stuck to the story. This is just sort of a demo reel. I'm going to go switch this over to full screen here. Or widescreen, whatever you want to call it. Story mode. I'm going to go ahead and just start from the beginning here. It has definitely been a while since I played this game. Alright, there's Shinnok being tortured by Raiden. Spoiler, by the way.
You should thank me, Raiden. Our battle changed you. For the better.
Reshowing the events from the end of Mortal Kombat X. One of the reasons why I like this game so much is because it actually all kind of redeems the story from Mortal Kombat X, which I think is an amazing accomplishment considering how disappointed I was with the story of that game. That this actually makes it seem better in retrospect.
Be silent, Shinnok!
But you wear my amulet. Finally, you embrace the truth the Elder Gods deny. The truth I was cast out for speaking.
The truth I embrace, Shinnok, is that mercy is wasted on those who defile Earthrealm. I will destroy our enemies before they destroy us, starting with you.
Oh, Raiden. Not even you can kill an Elder God.
There are fates worse than death.
By the way, if you're squeamish about gore, this is not the game to be watching or playing. It is, after all, called Mortal Kombat. You see, he's still alive, but he's just a severed head.
I will deliver you to Liu Kang and your Netherrealm minions. You will serve as warning and an emblem of my wrath.
Raiden teleports out. Now who's this? Looks like time is frozen.
This is not your destination, Shinnok. Once again, the Thunder God has upset the balance of history. Know this. The arc of the universe bends to my will. It is only a matter of time.
Time is a very key phrase and concept in this game. Because this, like MK9, is all about time travel. The past, present, future, all of time, when you get right down to it. Here's the Kombat Kids on the left, Cassie Cage and Jax's daughter, Jacqueline Briggs.
As you were. For 25 years, the Special Forces have been Earthrealm's sword and shield. We've pushed back Shao Kahn, defeated Shinnok, yet none of our victories have come without cost. Recently, Commander Jackson Briggs was honorably discharged. His wounds, both physical and psychological, left him no longer fit to serve. We honor Jackie's father, and we honor his sacrifice by doing what he would do. Tirelessly defend Earthrealm. Sergeant Cage, step forward. Your leadership and warfighting ability have earned you promotion to commander. But there are no family favors here. By Special Forces tradition, you still have to pass one last test.
I need to kick the CO's ass, ma'am. Your ass, ma'am.
All right then, Sergeant. Let's see if you can take
It's called a fighting game. After all.
Fight.
I can't remember if I put this game on easy or not, but I hope I did, because I do not remember hardly anything.
I love my toys.
Except basic punches and kicks here. But I can always look that stuff up. Special moves. Back forward. Hold. That's for dual wielding. Back forward Y. Back forward A. Back down A. Back forward B. So lots of back forwards and back downs. And then the button. Okay. Look at that.
Walk it off.
There we go.
Commander Cage, reporting for duty.
Like I said, I never claimed to be good at fighting games. In fact, it's
Congratulations.
one of my least favorite genres, but I enjoy this series because of its story mode. Notice how it seamlessly transitions between cutscene and fight and back to cutscenes? I like that.
Well, you've got your duty, Commander, and I got mine.
Here's Johnny Cage as an old man.
Ninja Mine sequel isn't what I
No, that is not Michael from
I
GTA
need to
5.
provide for you in the manner to which you've become accustomed.
Jeez, guys, I'm right here.
Uh-oh, here's Raiden.
General Blade, Cassandra Cage,
What is it, Raiden?
the Netherrealm.
We should open a dialogue. Maybe there's an explanation. Liu Kang and Katana were friends once.
They are irreparably polluted by Shinnok's evil. They are no longer the champions we once knew. We must strike them preemptively.
It's about time you brought the fight to them. What's the target?
Buried deep beneath Liu Kang and Katana's castle is the Cathedral of Shinnok, the seat of their power. Destroy it, and their undead army will fall, removing its threat to Earthrealm.
Aren't your powers weaker in the Netherrealm?
Yes, but I will have sufficient strength to occupy the undead army.
That'll buy us enough time to infiltrate the cathedral. Destroy it from the inside.
We get pinned down in there, there's no way out.
To ensure Earthrealm's survival, we must all be willing to sacrifice.
You know, it's been 2 years too much of your grim and gritty makeover droning on about sacrifice. You don't have a family to lose.
I know loss, Johnny Cage.
Raiden's right, Johnny. We're not ready for another war. We've got to take out Netherrealm's army now, before Liu Kang can bring it here.
Alright. You could make the argument that this game and the other NetherRealm fighting games as of late are sort of like a worse version of the whole Metal Gear Solid thing of being more cutscene than game. But the difference is that I actually enjoy the gameplay of these games and I have no interest in the Metal Gear stuff. Also, these cutscenes are pretty darn well made.
I'll
Raiden's plan one
And they're
hell
not
of a
overly long and obnoxious like the stuff in Kojima's games. Which, hey, if you're into that stuff, that's cool, but I am not.
Or feel the wrath of Earthrealm's protector.
Okay, he seems quite confident. Zombie Liu Kang and Zombie Katana. Both the results of the end of MK9, actually. Yes, that's all of them. Alright. Maybe not. A little strange for a Special Forces commando to be carrying a blade like that. A sword, but whatever. If it works. But yeah, I have not played this game since it came out back in, I think, the spring, actually. So yeah, so what I'll do is I'll play through a few fights and then move on to my 5th and final game of my top 5 list, and I'll take a look at the couple of honorable mentions. I think I'll post a link to my blog article where I talk about a little more stuff than that. My blog article, what am I, an idiot? Ew, don't answer that. I know the answer is yes. I'll post a link to my blog, my Game of the Year blog, where it talks about some of the other games that I started but I didn't finish, including Sekiro. Doesn't really say all that much though. Just brief summaries of my thoughts of each game. There's Jade and Blade and Cabal.
That burn victim's Cabal. Wasn't he Kano's goon back in the day?
Don't let the scars fool you. He's fast. Take out him and Jade. I'll go downstairs and set the C4.
Roger that.
Yeah, there is no, despite what these cutscenes show, there is no part of this game that plays like a shooter or any kind of third-person action game. This is entirely cutscene stuff. The only parts of this where you're actually playing the game, as far as the story mode goes, is fighting game. There's sort of a third-person adventure game in the crypt, but it's less game and more 3D environment meant for accessing the game's bonus content and unlockable stuff. She's not happy about that.
I'll kick your ass on her behalf, Cabal.
Fight.
The right trigger is block. This is not Street Fighter here, this is Mortal Kombat, as such, is a block button. Which I feel like is better for a game that has shoulder buttons and triggers. For a 6-button controller like on the Genesis or the Saturn, it's not as good. It's interesting because Mortal Kombat was always known as more for being a Genesis game, and Street Fighter is always known more for being a Super Nintendo game, when in reality their system's respective controllers were not well suited for those. Mortal Kombat being the Genesis controller being a 6-button controller seems better for Street Fighter. The Super Nintendo controller being 4 buttons and 2 face buttons and 2 shoulder buttons, that seems better for Mortal Kombat. Just a thought, really. I'm sure there's someone, if people ever left comments for my videos, to say, no, you're entirely wrong because X, Y, Z, and also you're a noob. Why are you doing this? I'll freely admit to being ignorant and wrong, but it's just an opinion, that's all. There you go.
You lose as fast as you run. Jackie, where's Jade?
She bailed. Getting help, I'm sure.
General, how we doing?
If I remember correctly, the cutscenes in this game only run at 30 FPS, while the actual gameplay runs at 60.
10 more minutes. We need it to be taillights in 5.
Well, we're in the shit now. We have extra C4, yeah?
Yeah, why?
Let's buy ourselves time.
Okay. How does C4 equal time? Is there a time shop where you purchase time using C4 as currency? I doubt it.
Emperor, Empress, Earthrealmers have captured the Bone Temple.
Oh, you're boned now.
He's the diversion.
Look at that.
Lock and load.
Okay. Now they know they're there. The horde of enemies know that these special forces are there. Didn't do all that much, did it?
What's going on up there? Watching your back, General.
Okay, that position does not seem all that defensible. Oh, hey there, so you actually returned, coming back in the chat. Oh, this game is Mortal Kombat 11. This is the 4th game on my top 5 game of the year list. How's it going? And that is clearly Liu Kang there. Zombie Liu Kang. Along with Zombie Katana.
Empress of the Dead.
I've not forgotten our last encounter at the Sky Temple.
How are your scars healing?
Fight!
Ah, that's a power hit right there. Ah, she loves throwing those fans of hers, of course, playing as her, I can understand why. Did that a little too soon. This is called a fatal blow. It's basically a super that you can do once per, not round, but match. And she wasted that because it did not finish me off.
I love my toys.
And I have mine all ready to go. Or at least I did. When you do that, I hit leave by hitting left trigger, right trigger. Ow. Yeah, from the cutscenes, it doesn't necessarily look like Mortal Kombat, especially considering it's mostly dealing with either newer characters, or old characters who have aged significantly since their earlier games. How about a little bit of this? So my fatal blow. There you go. In fact, for most of the cutscenes, it looks kind of like a generic action game. Except you could probably tell that one guy was Liu Kang. That guy.
General? General!
She's trapped, Cassandra Cage.
Obviously, everyone has a tendency to address each other by their full name. Right in the gut. That's gotta hurt. Ow. I can do that too. Like how I'm not blocking at all. There we go. Liu Kang was tripping there. That's dumb. I'm dumb. Ah, crap, I can't do the thing I want to do. There we go. Seem to have more difficulty when I'm on the right side. My inability to pull off basic special moves on command consistently is one of my biggest issues with fighting games in general. It's an issue with me, not with the games. Do this. This should finish him off, hopefully. If not, then, well, I just wasted it. There we go. Good job. Kind of.
Fuck you.
By the way, this game is definitely rated M, just in case you were wondering. Yeah. Says so right on the box. M.
I'm here, Cass.
Or the case, whatever.
They're gone. Cass. And I'm not gonna make it.
What?
That is, Sonya Blade, who's trapped under that rubble. Cassie Cage's mother.
That's an order. Your duty. Mine's to finish the mission. I love you, Cass. Give your dad a kiss for me.
Her dad being, Johnny Cage.
She started the detonation sequence. Override it, Jackie!
There is no override.
Commander!
Our orders are to leave.
Yep. Pretty hard to believe when you store a horde of demons blocking your path. She just kicked that guy's head off. Anyway, how's Raiden holding up? Is he still fending off the entire army by himself? There goes that place. Yeah. That's how they escape. I expect all the Cannon Father soldiers with them to die completely, but some of them made it out too.
I got your back. How did the mission go?
Yep. Not so well, Johnny. Not so well. Or are you? Love my award-winning commentary. Heck, I wouldn't even win an award if I was the one handing them out.
Elder gods here to taunt us?
No, Kitana. I am much more. Behold.
Okay. Looks like evil Disneyland has been rebuilt. Or the evil version of the castle from the Disneyland, from the Disney logo. So it looks like to me. It's called the Enchanted Castle. Castle of Wonder. No. It's the castle from the old school Disney logo. When did this become a Prince of Persia game?
To keep the realms in balance. But my work's perfection has been irreversibly tainted by Raiden's actions. The two of you have felt that pain most acutely.
Yeah, I'd say so.
What can be done? The past is the past, is it not?
It need not be. I intend to wind time back to its beginning and restart history. But even with my vast power, I cannot create this new era alone.
How will this new era be different?
In many ways. But most importantly, there will be no Raiden.
They like the sound of that.
How do we begin?
Now this game's story mode has a lot in common with the recent Avengers movie, especially Endgame. Very omnipotent enemy trying to basically change the entire universe, and a ragtag group of people trying to stop that villain.
For years you escaped my justice, sucked dry the
This is
bounty of
Koto
outlaws
Khan.
people. Today, your debt is paid.
Kill me, Kotal, and you lose profit.
You mistake me for Shao Kahn.
It's funny, throughout the entire time I played MKX, I kept referring to this guy as Toto Khan with a T.
His word was law.
But no, his name is Koto Khan with a K.
Your master is dead. So is his law. Never again will Outworld suffer from his corruption.
Now this guy is actually a good guy, this Kotal Khan guy. He's the one who replaced Shao Kahn as Emperor of Outworld. What's going on? That's a cool looking room, by the way. After this cutscene at the start of the next fight, I'm going to switch over to the 5th and final game in my top 5 list. What do we have there? Young Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, and Jax.
By the Elder Gods.
And where did Raiden go? Guess he's getting away. They arm this prisoner with a weapon capable of impaling people. Ah, he's got 4 arms at least. That is Scarlet, Aaron Black, Baraka, Kano, young Kano, and of course the big guy himself, Shao Kahn. Young Liu Kang, young Katana, non-zombified of course, Kung Lao, my favorite character. What's up his hat? Not sure who that is. Young Raiden. Younger Raiden. He's like, what the heck just happened? He seems to be taking it in stride.
Raiden? Shao Kahn? General Kotal?
Kotal Khan.
Khan? Pathetic fool! You pretend to my throne!
It is mine, by right and deed. You were killed long ago, as was your repugnant spawn Melina.
We were at the Mortal Kombat tournament. Kung Lao had just defeated Shang Tsung and Quan Chi.
We are decades beyond those events.
For us, they happened only moments ago.
What game are you playing, Raiden? What magic powers this delusion?
If it is a delusion, it is one we all share. Is it possible that the past and future are colliding?
Katana, Baraka, Scarlet, all Outworld champions long since gone. If you have all returned, has...
I am here, Kotal.
Oh, that's his dog, Jade. Okay. She's wearing red. That's why I didn't recognize her as Jade.
Requires all refugees be offered assistance. I offer it to you, Shao Kahn.
I am no refugee. I am Khan of Outworld. Vacate my throne, or I'll soak these sands with your blood.
Yeah. He's not in the mood for accepting charity, apparently. must have hurt.
Lord Raiden, what do we do?
I have not met Kodo, but he is reputed to be a man of honor.
It's true. I know him well.
Then we must navigate.
I don't think that's actually his daughter. I think that's his muse. Sorry, it's been a while since I played this game. Bicycle kick. MC Hammer over here. What's his problem? Ah, the game paused because I was watching it as a cutscene.
Impossible. They allied with Melina against me. Persist, and you will die again. Fight.
Alright, so this is the part where I exit out of here. And yeah, it's time for me to switch to the 5th and final game of my top 5 list. If I have time, I'll briefly take a look at the honorable mentions. Oops, I should probably switch this back over. Boom. It's nice and easy. Some rather strange music playing in that menu. Strange for Mortal Kombat game, I guess. Alright, where's the case? Where's the box? I mean... Ah! Nice big old MK logo here on the disc. Let's go back to the group here. Because the 5th game is a digital game, one that like the Outer Worlds I don't actually own. I got available via Game Pass. Hey, look, I got an update for Forza Horizon 4, another Game Pass game. That would be Gears 5, otherwise known as Gears of War 5. The 5th Gears of War game, except for the part where it's actually the 6th, because there's Gears Judgment. And then there's also Gears Pop, which is bad from what I heard. But the one I'm looking forward to is Gears Tactics, which is basically XCOM, but with set in the Gears of War universe. Let me quickly change this thing, because I can. Look at that. The Coalition. Alright, I'll play a little bit of the beginning. Should I play a little bit of the beginning of this game, or should I select a more interesting chapter? I don't know, we'll see, Because there's a couple quasi-open world-ish environments, more like overworlds, I guess, that are very neat to look at visually. Very good looking. This might actually be the best looking game of this generation, to be perfectly honest. Best looking game this side of the next generation, I guess I should say. It is a very good looking game, provided that you're playing it on either a high-end PC or an Xbox One X, which is what I'm playing it on. It's a campaign. Alright, see what we got here. Let's create another save file. Actually, it's creating a lobby. Select chapter. Got Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and then Act 4. I guess I'll show you the beginning of this, and maybe I'll switch over to a later level. How's that sound? Hopefully it does not start me with the tutorial mode. Because there's a tutorial at the beginning of this game I already played, and it's not necessary. Or maybe it is, I don't know. Whatever, it's Gears. I'm sure I can remember how to play enough of it to get through this. By the way, let's switch over to the full screen mode again. Or would I call it full screen, even if it's actually widescreen.
Previously on Gears.
The events of Gears of War 4.
We used to protect cocksuckers. Now we're about to raid one.
Raiding is what outsiders do.
Lieutenant, you've been busy.
Look, our village hasn't had power in weeks. We need this fabricator.
I don't care about the goddamn fabricator. You're taking my people. What happened?
The short version, the cop is on his way.
You promised me you could steal that fabricator without provoking Jin.
This has nothing to do with the fabricator.
Then what did you do?
Jin accused us of taking her people.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Get the fabricator to the power station and install the inverter.
You realize Jin's coming back, right? We need to leave now.
Mom! Hey, listen. You need to hide, and then you need to run.
Look, you know as well as I do that he can help.
Our village is attacked.
And my mother was taken.
Taken? Dad, you should look at this.
Shit.
Guys?
Thought you said you weren't running from the car.
Yeah, that wasn't completely accurate.
We need to get through that fort.
Robots.
If your swarm's related to the corrupts, we'll find out there.
I'm wondering how much of this I should bother showing, because it is just taking time recapping events from the previous game.
Taking people and using them.
And what if we can't get him back?
Then, I guess we're all alone out here.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to stick with the top 5 games list. They're the only ones I have mentioned listed in this video, I think. If not, I'll just remove them from the tags.
James, in that pod, I was in their network. This is all goddamn hard. It's all connected. The locust never died, James. Kate, your mother, she's alive.
Where is she?
It's quite an exposition dump there.
Like the others, not potted.
I'm released. I'll die. It's okay.
She wanted you to have that.
It was my grandmother's. I never knew her.
Ah, the locust symbol. Who was her grandmother? I wonder if we'll find out. I mean, we're not going to be finding out today, that's for sure, but you can probably look that information up. Strange, this is the year for protagonists in media discovering secrets that they don't want to know about their grandparents. If you know what I'm talking about, you're probably screaming, "Holy crap, that's a spoiler!" But if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you don't know what I'm talking about, so whatever. But regardless, this game does have a pretty good story with some good characters, particularly Kate. She's a pretty good Gears of War protagonist, although you don't actually start out the game by playing as her. You play as Marcus Phoenix's son, Jake Phoenix? I can't remember. Maybe we'll find out. I'm still keeping an occasional eye on the chat, just in case anyone pops in. This is some opening credit scene. That's Kate having a nightmare.
Kate is not ready for this. She can barely keep her eyes open.
Don't worry about her. She'll be ready.
JD, that's his name. Maybe JD is short for Jake something. I don't know. It's very hard for me to hear the dialogue as well. That's why I have the cutscene. That's why I have the subtitles on.
When's the last time you slept?
Last night. Got a good 8 or 9 minutes in.
That doesn't count.
Nightmares.
Does it get better?
It gets tolerable.
That's not encouraging.
All right, let's see what we got. Come on, time to hook in for the drop.
So who's jumping first?
Definitely not you.
Don't. I'm fine, okay?
Sure you are.
Oh,
Yep.
shit. Thanks, Tom.
Sam, we're outgoing.
Roger that. They're standing by up here.
See you soon. Hey, Dave, coming?
Ah, that's not Jack, that's Dave. You thought that was Jack, but you don't know Jack. Alright, looks like I have control here. I shall take control. Take control. Alright, that's enough of that. Yes, I am deliberately spinning the camera like this.
Tell us where to go, Control.
I'll do my best, but remember, no one's been in that facility for like 25 years.
Yeah, that's pretty evident.
You're not there to buy a Chinese.
And this is the first evidence that Gears of War has come a long way from the early days of nothing but grays and browns. Look at this. It's colorful. It's bright, even. And it looks really nice. I feel like Gears of War wasn't a technical showpiece for either the systems or the Unreal Engine, which it was made with, since Gears of War 1, really. But then Gears of War 4 made it that again, and Gears 5 is obviously a further continuation of that. This is one good-looking game. I do not think I'm exaggerating when I say this is probably the best-looking game, at least from a technical perspective, of this console generation. At least I don't think I would call that hyperbole or hyperbolic. This is running on an Xbox One X, by the way. 4K, dynamic 4K, but it is a locked 60 FPS. HDR, probably the best HDR implementation of this generation. At least according to Digital Foundry, anyway. They included this game on their list of... Based on John Limman included this game on his list of top games of the year. That's the guy who does the Digital Foundry retro stuff. So yeah.
Remember, Big Locust burial site is out. Hatched, we're gonna be waist deep in swarm.
One hell of a way to come back to us.
Hey, get back! Oh shit!
What the hell?
Yeah? I guess that's an appropriate reaction to that.
Quickly.
I was gonna say carefully.
Come on, we can use the ledge.
You guys plan to launch a satellite from here? It seems a little half-baked.
Well, half-baked plans are kind of Baird's specialty.
That's funny, I was just about to say that.
My father, before he died, he let Baird in on a few college secrets. And this island, it has plenty of them.
I bet. It's like Jurassic Park in here or something, or the Lost World Jurassic Park.
Hey, over there. Could be useful.
And use
Hey, fetch.
the little robot buddy here to fetch stuff that you can't get to yourself. Kate's obviously got a sniper rifle. Which might be one of my favorite sniper rifles in any video game. Gears sniper rifle. Simple, it's basic, it gets the job done. If you couldn't feel that rumbling with the controller vibrating or see the screen shaking, at the very least you have the subtitles to let you know rumble. Yeah, collectible. This is obviously taking place quite a while after the original Gears trilogy. Because remember, this guy that you're playing as, JD, wasn't even born yet at the end of Gears 3. And now he's like in his 20s. So you gotta figure at least 20, 22, 25 years after the end of Gears 3 that this game takes place in. Maybe more.
Okay, let's go.
Kind of like the Combat Kids in Mortal Kombat 10 and 11. This is a game that features heavy usage of the offspring of characters from the original games. Or at least this guy, anyway. I guess he's the only character that fits that description.
Dave, send a pulse and let's see what we're dealing with. Ah, there they are.
Not many opportunities in Gears games for stealth, but you take them when you can. The robot turns invisible.
Right, let's take him out.
I wonder if I was supposed to go to the left and stealthily kill that guy. That's right, the robot has weapons as well. I know Jeff didn't particularly like this game, Jeff Kurtzman of GiantBomb.com, because he didn't like the open world segments. He didn't think they added much, and it was just padding for a game that didn't have enough development time to add in actual content. But he said that when it's actually Gears of War, like this game, that he actually thought it was some of the best in the series. So it'll be interesting to see if that game ends up on Giant Bomb's top 10 Game of the Year list By the way, I am playing this game right now, all these games, instead of listening to that podcast. I do this for you. No, but in all seriousness, I would be doing that right now if it weren't for this plan of mine. Kinda makes me wish I'd done this last night, actually. But whatever. And I could have changed the time, I could have changed the schedule, but I didn't.
Shit. Okay, Condor's in the air. Let me know if you need reinforcements.
Get it handled for now. Delta out. Come on, we're gonna find one of those silos. Assuming the swarm haven't ripped them all apart.
Hey, I think we can get down this way.
Can we now?
Shit. Sorry.
Wake up, Kate.
Hey, these headaches.
I'm okay, alright? Let's just find a silo.
You keep saying you're okay. That word, okay, you keep using it, but I don't think it means what you think it means.
There's too many active hives. Everywhere we go, another burial site's hatched.
All the more reason to get the hammer of dawn alive.
Let's hope Jin sees it that way.
Yeah, we are looking to launch a Hammer of Dawn satellite, but we're not exactly on an authorized mission here. Shoot its helmet off first. Pulse. Really? Only one enemy? Crawl away from me, that's rude. Still with the active reload, as always. You close the nest by throwing grenades.
Nest destroyed!
Neutralized. Alright, we got them all.
The famous Gears of War,
Guys,
you've
we're
taken
in
out
the
all the
silo.
enemies sound.
There.
Victory
We found one of the
gong.
silos, but it's wrecked.
Wind chime.
Well, there's two more. One of them's still operational.
Hope you're right. We ended the war once on this island. When we get this hammer satellite up, we can do it again.
That's the idea, old pal. Control out.
Alright.
So, straight's not an option. But rocket base seems to left.
Let's find out. You guys go right, Marcus and I will go left. We'll find those silos.
Sounds good. Stay in contact. You sure about this? 2 silos, 2 paths. Got a better idea?
Yep, look at that. I don't know how much of how good looking this game is coming across on the stream. I may be looking at a 4K HDR image on my TV, but I'm streaming out a 1080p SDR that is compressed over the internet pipes, YouTube video, stream, broadcast, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's a retro Lancer. I don't like that. Not gonna get that. Actually, in a couple minutes, I'm gonna switch over to a later level. I'm gonna switch to the desert world because I think that is visually the most interesting.
This looks like some kind of exhaust tunnel. But is it from the side?
Only one way to find out.
2Vs. These were in PS4 as well. Short controlled burst, people. That's how you play this game. That's how you shoot anyway.
Where'd it go? Are there more? Just keep pushing on.
Okay, how about Pulse again, buddy?
Hey, Pulse.
Nothing? Yeah, I can see that. Thanks for pointing out the obvious. There's no shame in letting your allies do some of the work here. They are actually good enough to take out enemies on their own. They're not just useless distractions. They can actually contribute. Which is not how it used to be in games like this. That section can give you a lot of trouble if you're not expecting it. You can very quickly get surrounded by those little things. I remember watching the Giant Bomb Quick Look of this game, and that's what happened to them.
Alright, looks like this sluice gate's our way out.
Jack, whip this door. Ah.
Can you get this open?
Or Dave, whatever.
If they want to turn this place into a hive, let them. It's an isolated island with hundreds of miles.
Let's just make sure that happens after we leave.
Interestingly enough, this game actually has a 3-player split-screen mode where two players play as the 2 humans, and then the 3rd player actually plays as a little robot buddy. Look at this. Slippy slidey.
So much for a silo.
Oh, X, right.
We got company.
James, we're above you.
I see you.
We can provide support from up here if things get hairy.
Just tell us who to target.
Alright, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually return to the lobby here and show you the desert area, because I think that's a really neat looking area. And then I'm going to call it a stream, actually, because it's 3:30 and I got places to be today. I'll take the old annual Christmas trek downriver. New Boston, which is very different from old Boston. Chapter select. Yeah, I'm aware of that. All right. I want to take the route that will get me closest That gets me to the outside area as quickly as possible. Give myself a chance to show off this game at its best, I think. Even though it's not going to translate all that well to this 1080p SDR stream. That's rather compressed.
I don't know how you did it, but my scouts have just informed me that your rocket train safely entered the hangar.
Glad to hear it, Paddock.
Look at that.
That's the end of my good news. You have another task. Go secure the hammer's targeting beacons.
Targeting beacons? But for the Hammer of Dawn?
Our system was based on targeting beacons. I was saving that info until we knew you could get the rocket.
So where are these beacons?
In the southwest, cosmonaut training facility. And to be clear, if we don't secure those beacons, we don't have a Hammer of Dawn.
Okay, we're on it.
Just look at that. The storm. I just like the redness of the sand. This is clearly a desert area. Fake video game Russia desert. Believe it or not, that's actually JD. He lost his hair, and he has a heavily damaged right arm. That's being held together by a shield device of some kind. Some sort of heavily high-tech bandage. You probably saw some of that in the cutscene that they showed off of this game at E3 back in 2018? Yeah, last year. Here's the skiff. Use this for navigating around these larger areas. But yeah, this is a pretty awesome game.
It's massive. Rockets are big. You know the ballistic coefficient you need to accommodate atmospheric drag? No, I don't. Well, it's high. Thus the size. So, what's it like to know so much about stuff no one else cares about? Go ahead and abide in your ignorance, man. Not my problem. Glad we agree.
Got a very deliberately Aussie-sounding character who part buddies up with JD, and he's kind of a jerk. That's not saying that Aussie people are jerks, but this one definitely is. Of course, this is not actually on Earth, so it would be fake video game Australia that he's from. Planet Sarah, I believe it's called. Sarah, whatever. Stuff that really hasn't been mentioned since the first Gears of War game. And by that I mean the first Gears of War trailers. Trailers for the first Gears of War game. And basically in this game you just sort of go around to different markers and engage in different missions. Markers are usually delineated by... they're usually marked by flags. That's where the levels generally are. Flags are interesting looking structures. It's a little bit harder to determine this level. But in the other one, the Ice World, in which I have a 4K HDR video of, that and this one, you can get a better idea as to how good looking this game is. Just check out the 4K HDR sample series playlist, and it should take you eventually to these videos that I'm referring to. I'm very sloppily, very lazily heading in the direction of the marker that this game is trying to get me to go to. And like I've been complaining about, I am a little on the tired side today, so that would explain my lack of proficiency in any of the things that I'm doing. But regardless, I, for the most part, enjoyed this. May not be as complete of a stream as I had hoped, as I had originally planned, but whatever. Sometimes things happen. Life happens. You do the best you can. It only sucks when the best you can isn't good enough. Okay, so I hope someone gets something useful out of this, even if it's nothing more than hearing the opinion of some moron talk about his favorite games of the year. That moron would be me, by the way. I'm showing them off a little bit. This is actually base camp for this area. Let's disembark here. In Gears of War Russia, video gameplay U. Please tell me this is where I'm supposed to go. Dagnammit. Ah, crap. I guess back on the skiff. Alright, everyone spawn on the skiff, I guess. I guess we can't go beyond that thing. Okay, so I guess I did stop at the right spot. Oh, wow. Well, then where the heck am I supposed to go? Does anyone here have any ideas? No? Ah, probably don't want to do that. Oh. That's the thing that turns us invisible. Yeah, take a look at the controls here. Here we go. I'm looking for the thing that shows you the objective marker that toggles that. Why does it want me to go back to that thing? Dagnammit. Don't worry, this thing is indestructible. Hopefully this leads in that direction. Hi, caramba. I could have sworn the marker was leading me towards that one spot, but apparently I was wrong. Maybe I'm more tired than I thought. What a noob. You can't even play a video game.
Hey, I'm guessing that's the water tower panic mission. We're gonna check it out. Jen's gonna react back when she figures out we're getting the hammer online. Again. Settlement 2 shifted her thinking a bit. Obviously, no thanks to me.
Meanwhile, I often wonder who stuffed that gigantic stick up her ass.
No comment from Captain Phoenix on that one.
Great. And that's a wall. Oh dear. Well, guess I go up here then, maybe? Hey, 343. Cool.
Oi, oi! I do believe we found that trading facility.
Okay, let's find these targeting beacons.
This is the part where we can no longer ride the ski thing.
Paddock, Bear. We're heading into the training facility for the beacons.
Good to know. We're standing by.
Everyone, how the hell did all this UIR space program stuff not get out? I mean, how did the COG keep it secret?
Simple. And the COG also runs the newspapers. But historians have to apply for a project to write books. Secrets? Secrets are easy.
Yeah. We all agree on that one.
Alright. Well, yeah, well, I think I'm actually going to call it here, folks. It's almost 4 o'clock. Well, yeah, I'd just like to thank y'all for watching. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate when people actually watch my streams and my videos and such. Yeah, this has been my top 5 game of the year list. Just to recap, number 1 on my list is Control. Number 2 is Devil May Cry 5. I don't know if you can actually even see these boxes. Number 3, which I don't have the box for because it's digital, The Outer Worlds, which I got via Game Pass. Number 4 is Mortal Kombat 11. And number 5 is this game, Gears of War 5. Which it's pure coincidence that the 5th game is Gears of War 5. I don't know. That was not deliberate on my part to make it the 5th game just because it has a 5 in it. Like, for example, well, I could have easily just went with Devil May Cry 5. I just wanted to quickly summarize the other 2 games that are on my honorable mentions. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which I do have a physical copy of right here. Yeah, it's basically a game that is very much an homage to Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is a game I did not play back in the day and only dabbled in a little bit recently since I bought the Requiem pack. But yeah, this game is a pretty neat game. It's a 2D Metroidvania style platformer. I guess the reason why I didn't really make the top 5 list is because it just didn't leave all that much of a lasting impression on me. And it didn't hit me in the nostalgia feels like it did a lot of people who crowdfunded and backed this game back when it was going through that process and were following it all along its story development. But I enjoyed playing it for what it's worth. I bought it when it was new. I paid full price, or close to full price, I think. And I definitely enjoyed playing it. It's just a little bit on the archaic side for my taste, and there have been better examples of Metroidvania-style games that I've played in recent years, including Ori and the Blind Forest, which I'm very much looking forward to the sequel, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which comes out next year. And yeah. And heck, even Dead Cells, which is a game that I've been featuring a lot on this channel, I think is a more interesting game of that style, kind of. It's more of a roguelike, but still. But yeah, I enjoyed it, for the most part, and it gets an honorable mention. The other game, which I don't have a physical copy of, is Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. I bought the original Yooka-Laylee on a Black Friday deal late 2017 for about $8. And played it and thought it was okay. I didn't play any of the 3D platformers like Banjo-Kazooie, for which it was based on, so I didn't really have much expectation going in. But But that's okay, I was willing to try it for the price, and I enjoyed it right up until the last boss, which I hated. I hated that boss fight completely. You could tell, even though I wasn't talking these videos yet, from the streams that I did, how much time I spent on that boss. And I did not like it. It exposed a lot of flaws in that game. Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair, it's actually kind of a similar story. It's a much better game overall than the first one. It's a 2D platformer based on Donkey Kong Country. It's a better looking, better playing game with a better sense of humor in my opinion. A more cohesive package. And it's got a lot of nice little touches, some great music. But the controls are not quite precise enough. They're a little too on the floaty side. A little too loose. Not tight enough for the type of precision platforming you would expect of this type of game. Which for the most part is fine. Except for the Impossible Lair, which is the last level. It's basically, what do you call it? Not a marathon, but it's a grueling survival thing where you're just getting through a really long level with multiple boss fights and no checkpoints. You do get a whole bunch of hits that you spend the entire game accumulating in the form of bees. But even with that, it's not enough. You need to practice that level, that course, and do it over and over again. And unless you're really good, it's going to take you a long time to get through that. A lot of tries. And I was barely able to get through it. I had one hit left. Watch my Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair daily long play series for that, and just skip to the last one. In fact, just skip to halfway through the last episode of that, and you'll see my final successful attempt at it. But yeah, that's I guess that's it. If it weren't for that, that game would have been a lot better. But the controls are not tight enough for that type of precision platforming, and the hitbox is very inconsistent. There are a lot of hits that I took in the Impossible Lair that I did not think were on the up and up. I did not think they were legit. But yeah, I guess that's it. So yeah, those were my 5 games. Number 1, number 1, Control. Number 2, Devil May Cry 5. Number 3, The Outer Worlds. Number 4, Mortal Kombat 11. Number 5, Gears of War 5, with my 2 honorable mentions in no particular order, Bloodstained and Yooka-Laylee. I guess that they're in the order in which I bought those 2 games. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Just as a quick reminder, I do a daily long play stream just about every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At least I do, from Sunday through Thursday. And I'll be picking that back up with my ongoing playthrough of Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. And I think I found a strategy for beating that bowl. I finally beat the Lady Butterfly, and now I think I can beat the bowl. Or am I just speaking a bunch of bowl? I don't know. We'll see. I do a retro stream on Monday night, 8 p.m. Modern stream on Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Both Eastern Standard Times. This coming Monday, I'll be doing those original Xbox game pickups that I was going to do a couple days ago, but I was watching the Star Wars and it went long. And then whenever I get home from work with enough time, whenever I get out of work early enough, I do some more Dead Cells in my series I call Ongoing Runs. And if I ever get back to it, I do 4K and or HDR uploads on Friday. So yeah, that's it. That's my Game of the Year stream, my Game of the Year broadcast. So if you want, I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for more Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. I just knocked several Super Nintendo games off of the top of my entertainment center. Because I'm a moron. But until then, take it easy.